Sir, I'd like to switch gears a bit. Do you have a brother? Yes. Do you have a brother named Daniel? Yes. Does Daniel have a nickname? Yes. What's that? Dan Dan. What is it? Dan Dan. Was your brother the victim of a carjacking? Yes. When did that occur? In 99, I think. Was Mr. Span still walking? No. Can you explain what happened? My brother was in front of the house, my auntie's house, him and his girlfriend, and some guys came and upped guns on him and made him get out the car. Your brother was with his girlfriend in front of your auntie's house? Yes. And someone upped a gun on him and made him get out of the car? Yes. And what kind of car was your brother driving? A Grand National. Do you remember what color the Grand National was? Black. What type of car was the Grand National? A muscle car. And did you get involved in that situation? Yes. How so? I called around to a couple of guys I know to be taking things and tried to find out who stole the car. Did you make a call to the defendant? Yes. Did you speak with the defendant? Yes. And what did Mr. Span say? Finna make phone calls. He'll call me back. Did Mr. Span call you back? Yes. What did he say when he called you back? He found the car. Come meet him so we can see if we can do something to get the car back. Did Mr. Span tell you where he found the car? Yes. Where was that? LeClaire Courts. Did you know where LeClaire Courts was? Yes. And where was LeClaire Courts? Like by the Midway Airport. And did you know if Mr. Span had any relationship to LeClaire Courts? Yes. And what was Mr. Span's relationship to LeClaire Courts? He had operations up there. He had people up there. What do you mean that Mr. Span had people and operations up there? He was hustling up there too. What do you mean by hustling? He was selling narcotics. So Mr. Span told you in the second phone call that he found the car at LeClaire Courts? Yes. And then what else did he tell you? He said to come meet him, bring him something. He can't be doing stuff for free. He told you come meet him and to bring something? Yeah. What did you understand him to mean when he said bring something? Bring some money. Where did Mr. Span want you to meet him? Right off of 5th and Karlov or something. 5th and Karlov, you said? Something around that area right there. One of the K streets? Yes. And Mr. Span said to bring something because he couldn't be doing stuff for free? Yes. So did you meet with Mr. Span at 5th and about Karlov? Yes. And what happened when you arrived? When I pulled up, he was sitting in the passenger seat of the Grand National and somebody else was driving, and I got out and approached the car and talked to him. And what did you and Mr. Span talk about? The car was nice. I got to get him something because the little guy that took it, they're going to want something for taking it because they could have made a lot of money off stripping the car. And did you give him money? Yes. How much did you give him? Around $500 or something. Why did you give him $500? For his time for getting the car back. How much was the car worth, if you know? About $1,800. And did Mr. Span give you the car back? Yes. Sir, I'd like to fast forward now to 2013. You had completed your sentence from your 2003 federal conviction, correct? Yes. And had you yet been arrested for the 2014 heroin distribution? No. So you were not in custody in any way? No. In January of 2013, did you attend a trial as a spectator? Yes. So you weren't a party to that trial in any way? No. Where was the trial happening? 26th in California. Is that in the city of Chicago? Yes. Do you know what kind of trial it was? Attempt murder charge. Do you know who the defendants were in that trial? Yes. Who were the defendants? Pig and Weezy. And did you know Pig? Yes. How did you know Pig? From the neighborhood. Did you know Pig to be a member of a gang? Yes. What gang? The Four Corner Hustlers. Did you know Weezy? Yes. How did you know Weezy? From the neighborhood. Did you know Weezy to be a member of the gang? Yes. What gang? The Black Pea Stones. Your Honor, may I have the government podium for a moment? Sir, do you see the photograph in front of you that's marked Government Exhibit 111, which has previously been admitted? Yes. Do you recognize that individual? Yes. Who is that? Pig. Do you know Pig? Is Pig his real name? No. Do you know what Pig's real name is? No. Your Honor, may I have the ELMO briefly? Your Honor, if I may have a moment. Sure. Your Honor, I'm about to show the witness Government Exhibit 151, which is not yet in evidence. I've shown defense counsel a photograph. The photograph in Government's Exhibit 151, and I don't believe there's an objection. Any objection? No, Judge. 151's admitted without objection. Sir, do you see Government's Exhibit 151 in front of you? Yes. Do you recognize that individual? Yes. And who is that? Weezy. Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, you said that Pig and Weezy were the defendants in this attempt murder trial? Yes. Why did you attend the trial? Because Weezy asked me to attend the trial. And how did you know Weezy again? He was an associate of mine from the neighborhood. And did you know what Weezy was on trial for specifically other than attempt murder? I didn't even know what he was on trial for at the time. Did you eventually learn what he was on trial for? Yes. What did you learn? He was on trial for attempt murder on a guy named Michi from the neighborhood. How many days of the trial did you attend? Probably maybe 2 or 3. And on the first day of trial you attended, who was there? Michi family members, his mother and brothers, and Pig family members, and Weezy family members. And did you know any of Michi's family members? Yes. Who did you know? His mother. How did you know Michi's mother? I knew her from the neighborhood. And what did you find out that You said when you went to the first day of the trial, you didn't know the specifics of the trial? Correct. How did you find out the specifics? When I walked in with Weezy, Michi's mother spoke to me and I spoke to her back, and she pulled me to the side. She was like, "You know them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know them." She like, "They the one that shot us." I'm like, I had no idea what was going on. So you then learned that Michi was the victim in this trial? Yes. Sir, I'd like to show you Government's Exhibit 117, which has already been admitted into evidence. Do you see that, sir? Yes. Who is that, sir? Michi. And this is the individual who is the victim of the trial that you attended? Yes. Sir, you said you came back. You were at the trial for 2 or 3 days? Yes. So did you come back for a second day? Yes. And why did you come back on the second day? Because Weezy called me and said Bro Man was up here looking for me. Did you attend the second day? Yes. Who was there on the second day? Multiple people. How many people approximately? Maybe 20, 30 people. Did you recognize any of those people? Yes. How did you recognize them? Because when I got off the elevator, you had Brother Man in the middle of the floor with a lot of guys around him. You had Pig and Weezy family over on the other side of the hallway. So you said you got off an elevator? Yes. Was this on the second floor then? Yes. Or third floor? Second floor. You said Mr. Span was there with a lot of his people? Yes. Did you recognize any of those people? A lot of them was younger guys, so I really didn't know them, but I know Michi people because I know them from the neighborhood. Did you see Michi with Mr. Span? No. You said you also saw Pig with his people? Yes. And how many people did Pig have with him? Maybe 5. Did you see Weezy the second day of trial? Yes. And did he have people with him? That's the same group, ma'am. So Pig and Weezy were together? Yes. The people you saw, the 20 to 30 people you saw, did you recognize any of them as gang members? Some of them, yes. What gangs did you recognize those people to be members of? Some of them was Four Corner Hustlers, some of them was Gangster Disciples. Some were Four Corner Hustlers and some were Gangster Disciples? Yes. And you saw Mr. Span on the second floor, and this was outside of the courtroom? Yes. Did you hear Mr. Span say anything? Yes. What did he say? Y'all get that money up here or y'all going to jail. Mr. Span said, y'all get that money up there or y'all going to jail? Yes. Did you know who he was talking to? Yes. Who was he talking to? Pig and Weezy. These were the defendants in the trial? Yes. And did you understand what Mr. Span meant by y'all get that money up here or y'all going to jail? Yes. What did you understand him to mean? If they didn't come up with a payment, they was going to jail. He had his guy on speed dial in the back, and if you don't come up with no money, he going to call them in the back and say they did not drop the money. They going to jail. Did you hear Mr. Span say you said something about he's got his guy on speed dial? Yes. What does that mean? That mean he had Michi on speed dial in the back room. Did Mr. Span say that he had Michi on speed dial in the back room? Yes. And what did you understand Mr. Span to mean when he said he had Michi on speed dial in the back room? That he had Michi on speed dial. Well, he had his number on the phone. He going to push the button to call him and tell him to testify against them or not testify against them. And did you go into the courtroom eventually on the second day you were there? Yes. And did anything unusual happen inside the courtroom? Yes. What happened? Brother Man told his guys to get Pig, and he jumped the thing and ran toward the judge. And you said Bro Man tried to get someone, sent his guys to get Pig? Yes. What do you mean by get Pig? He told get him and bring him to me. And did someone actually get Pig? No. What happened? Pig jumped the podium and ran up to it by the judge. What happened next? The sheriffs came and they put us all out. Put you all out of the courtroom? Yes. And did you go back to another day of the trial? No. Do you know how the trial ended? Yes. What do you know happened? They was found guilty. They being the defendants? Yes. Who were Pig and Weezy? Yes.